Tyreek Hill causes drama at Dolphins by asking for teammate to be sent to the bench. Tyreek Hill ignites controversy in Miami by suggesting teammate shouldn't be on field on certain plays. Miami Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill has once again made headlines for off-field reasons. In a recent live broadcast, Hill expressed that one of his teammates should be sent to the bench in specific game situations, which has generated tension within the locker room and among the team's fans. Although he did not mention names directly, his words were interpreted as a criticism of the decision-making of the coaching staff and the performance of certain players at key moments. There are situations where not everyone should be on the field, Hill said, hinting that his frustration with the team's performance remains latent after a disappointing 2024 season. A history of controversial statements. This is not the first time that Hill has generated controversy. After the end of last season, the receiver hinted that he wanted to leave Miami, although he later retracted and offered a public apology to his quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. Tua is my type, always will be. Tyreek Hill. Hill has been a polarizing figure since his arrival in Miami, combining explosive talent with statements that often make the team uncomfortable. Reactions within the team. Although no official response has been issued by the player concerned, sources close to the locker room indicate that the relationship between Hill and some teammates has become strained. The coaching staff, for its part, has avoided commenting directly on the remark, although it is expected that the issue will be addressed internally before the start of the season. Team culture and leadership are at stake, especially at a time when the Dolphins are looking to establish themselves as contenders in the AFC. Experts warn that such statements can affect group cohesion. In a league like the NFL, where chemistry between players is key, public comments can create divisions that are difficult to repair. Hill, who has one of the highest contracts on the team, must assume a more constructive leadership role if he wants to maintain his influence in the locker room. Tyreek Hill has once again sparked controversy with the Miami Dolphins by suggesting that a teammate should be sent to the bench in certain situations. Although his talent is unquestionable, his leadership is being questioned, and the team will have to handle this situation carefully to prevent it from affecting their collective performance in the 2025 season. The Miami sun was blistering, but the real heat came from inside the Dolphins' locker room, where tension crackled like summer lightning. Tyreek Hill, the NFL's most electrifying wide receiver, known for his blazing speed and bold attitude, had just ignited a firestorm that could change the entire course of the Dolphins season. It started with a simple statement, pointed, public, and packed with power. "I don't care who you are," Hill told a reporter after practice. "If you're not helping us win, you need to sit. Period. No exceptions." The media buzzed, but the locker room shook when whispers began to circle. Hill wasn't speaking in generalities. He had a teammate in mind. And that teammate? None other than Cedric Wilson Jr., the receiver who had struggled to find rhythm and chemistry all season. According to insiders, Hill had voiced his frustration directly to coach Mike McDaniel after a sluggish practice where dropped passes and miscommunications derailed offensive drills. Hill, the ultimate competitor, couldn't stay silent any longer. He reportedly slammed his helmet down, pulled the coach aside, and said, "If we want to go deep this year, we can't carry dead weight. We need the best out there." Coach McDaniel, usually calm and cerebral, found himself in unfamiliar waters. One of his captains, his locker room lightning rod, had essentially demanded a demotion for a teammate. And while Hill hadn't named Wilson publicly, everyone could connect the dots. The fallout was immediate. Tua Tagovailoa, Hill's quarterback and a steady presence in the storm, tried to keep things cool. "We win and lose as a team," he said during the next media scrum. "We all have off days. It's football. What matters is how we respond, not who we blame." But the drama didn't die. Wilson's body language told the story, a mix of shock, embarrassment, and quiet resolve. He kept his head down in practice but fought harder, running sharper routes and diving for balls like his job depended on it.
Because it just might.
Tyreek Hill, for his part, remained unapologetic. "I'm not here to babysit egos," he said during a podcast interview. "I came to Miami to win rings, not play counselor. If I see a weak link, I'm going to speak on it. That's leadership. That's accountability." Fans were split. Social media exploded. Some hailed Hill as a truth-teller, the rare athlete willing to call out mediocrity in pursuit of excellence. Others called him a diva, a disruptive force prioritizing ego over unity. Inside the Dolphins' headquarters, the coaching staff faced an impossible task, balancing the volatile honesty of a superstar with the fragile psychology of a team still finding its groove. And then came the unexpected twist. In the Dolphins' next preseason game, Cedric Wilson had his best performance since arriving in Miami, 5 catches, 87 yards, and a toe-tap touchdown that lit up Hard Rock Stadium. He didn't celebrate flamboyantly. He simply handed the ball to the ref and jogged back to the sideline, eyes straight ahead. After the game, he was asked about Hill's comments. "Tyreek pushes people," Wilson said calmly. "That's who he is. If that's what it takes to wake me up, then I'll take it. But I'm not going to the bench. Not without a fight." And just like that, what began as drama began to look like something else. Fuel. Coach McDaniel addressed the situation with rare bluntness. "We've got fire in this locker room," he said. "I'd rather have to cool things down than try to heat them up. Tyreek wants to win. Cedric wants to prove he belongs. That's the kind of tension that builds champions if we manage it right." Hill and Wilson didn't hug it out or post staged Instagram photos. But observers noticed a moment during practice the following week. After a sharp comeback route, Wilson caught a bullet from Tua and turned upfield for a big gain. When he jogged back, Hill gave him a nod. Just a nod. Nothing more. But in NFL language, that was a peace treaty. By midseason, the Dolphins' offense was humming. Hill continued to torch secondaries. Wilson carved out a niche as a reliable third-down option. And the story that once threatened to divide the locker room began to feel like the turning point. Tyreek Hill hadn't just called out a teammate. He'd challenged the culture, and maybe, just maybe, made it stronger. Because in a league where words can wound and egos can explode, sometimes the harshest truths spark the brightest fire. And in Miami, under the blazing sun and rising expectations, that fire just might be what carries the Dolphins deeper than they've gone in decades.